Every guru on YouTube that is telling you about Shopify, dropshipping, e-commerce, everything like that says that a 2 to 4% conversion rate, sales conversion rate, meaning people that put products in their carts and check out or look at the store and check out and buy something, they're saying 2 to 4% is really good and you're doing something right if you're at 2 to 4%. In this video, I think in about 3 or 4 minutes after what I just said, I should be able to tell you how to get a 6 to 10% conversion rate. All the people that are saying 2 to 4% aren't building drop shipping or e-commerce businesses that are going to last, and that the 90% of the work that goes behind selling a product successfully isn't being done, and what they're doing is they're propping something up with money, specifically ad spend, and that's not sustainable. You're going to lose your profit margin, and it's just not the best thing for you if you're starting a business. I'm not here to sell anything. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, entrepreneurship, everything, we're going to get straight into the videos. I don't want to bore you with all that, but there's no gimmick here. There's no get rich like quick plug-in or anything. It's pretty simple to get a higher percent sales conversion rate. And the only reason people don't want to talk about it and don't want to sell a higher percent conversion rate is either they have one and they don't want to tell you about the product, which is probably more likely the reality because people don't want competition on their product, or they just don't understand the product research portion of it. Now, I'm coming from maybe the opposite end of what e-commerce is. I've spent most of my career working on the larger business side where 4% is not a workable thing at a large company, right? 4% sales conversion rate is awful, right? 6 to 10% is a little bit more livable for a B2C, a business to consumer product, and that's kind of more in the operation range of what a successful company needs to run at. Now, on the YouTube e-commerce side, again, people are saying 2 to 4% is amazing, which means that people are trying to achieve that, which means they're running their businesses at less than that. And if gurus are saying like that's what you need to get at, they obviously think that that's a stretch because they think that's clickbait and that you're going to click on that, which just means the whole product selection is messed up and people aren't telling you how to do it. So how do you get a 6 to 10% sales conversion rate? You pick a product correctly, and that's it, right? It sounds simple, and I'll tell you in a second how to do that, but it's that simple, right? If you select the right product, it's going to sell on its own, and you're going to have a high sales conversion rate. There are so many people out there that are like, you have to have a perfect landing page, you have to do all these things. I've been running an e-commerce business for 3 years with $0 in ad spend, and I hover between probably a 5.5% and a 9.5% sales conversion rate on literally a store that sells right now about 8,000 products. You might ask, that sounds crazy, how are you doing that? It's all in my product selection. And the most important thing about what I just was saying is I built the website in 2019. I've done nothing from the day that I launched it to now to improve it. Sure, there's problems with the site, but my sales conversion rate's so high that it's like, for me, it's all about getting more products on the site and doing that aspect. And I will at some point go back and work on the website, but it's not going to change that funnel as much as what all these other people are saying because they're trying to solve problems that exist at a level that they can't even understand about how to navigate. I'm going to give you the answer because it's super simple. To select a good product, you need to solve a problem. There's 2 types of problems. The first type of problem is a problem that doesn't have an answer. You're solving a problem that doesn't have an existing answer. Now, inventing something or changing a product slightly so it does something, that can be harder. It takes longer to launch something like that, and typically you have to house inventory. So what is the other option? The second type of problem is a pricing problem. Let's say you want to go buy an apple and you're seeing apples online for $7 a piece. If you can then sell an apple for $2 a piece, people are going to buy your apple. So what you need to go out and do is you need to go solve a problem that has a niche that's got high enough volume where you can be successful in it, but low enough volume that you're not competing with a bunch of other people there and you're not doing these price gouging wars. And then you need to go source that product that's similar or better, that is already being manufactured, so it exists, and you need to set better pricing. And if you set good enough pricing, you're solving a problem. You're giving some people that couldn't afford the original product access to that product. Now you might say an apple at $6 or $7 and $2 isn't sustainable. Well, in an e-commerce business, you can't make money with those margins, right? You shouldn't be selling a product unless it's at least $30 and your product cost is $10, right? You need to have that kind of margin. And that's the lowest spectrum. Those are the cheapest products on my site, right? And those are products that I am so confident in, I don't have to run ads and they sell, right? No advertising, right? I've solved such a big problem there that no advertising. My competitors, I sell them for $30. My competitors sell them for $60. So I'm cutting the price by 50%, right? The only problem with what I'm saying is that the product selection and research portion of you starting this business just went from 10% of like the process, which is what every guru out there sells you, and it transforms that into about 90% of what your process of starting the business. You need to pick and select your product well. You need to do, that needs to be perfect, right? Everything else is pay to play. Picking the right product can be pay to play if you just want to iterate through products. But the reality is, if you pick the right product, you're going to sell it. So what does that mean, right? So let's say you're starting at ground zero. If I was starting at ground zero, what would I do, right? If I want to have a product, and the tough part is if you have products for sale already and you're not getting those conversion rates, you need to start playing with those little things that other gurus are talking about. But you should know that you didn't do a very good product selection. Let's say I was at ground zero. What I'd do is I'd pick a niche, right? So I'd pick a niche that has, 250,000 people in communities on Facebook groups in, right? Maybe less than that. I'd say the smallest would be 50,000, largest would be 250,000. Anything more than that and bigger brands are playing in the game that you're playing, and you're never going to be able to compete with them because they're housing inventory. And I would just go on there and look, and for about a week understand what are people spending money on, what are people buying, what's recurring purchases, what does everyone have in a community. This could be for a hobby, like if you're into photography, right? We could be looking at tripods, we could be looking at stabilizers, we could be looking at lens covers, lens caps, frames that go around the cameras, all kinds of things, right? What are people spending money on? How much are people spending? And then while I'm doing all this, I'm looking at what's available for drop shipping, what's available for housing product, what can I buy in bulk, what can I do? Is there a space where I can solve the problem either in delivering something that people aren't finding that maybe exists but they just don't know they have access to, or cutting the price on something that you might cost a lot of money and that you're actually like, wow, I can still make money on something by cutting the price on a product 30%, right? A tripod, right? Tripods are a great example. The tripod my camera is sitting on right now was probably $30. The tripod, which is, I don't exactly know, I've got another tripod that's probably $400, right? Functionally, for everyday stuff, they do the same thing. So somebody figured out they can sell a cheaper tripod and they don't have to charge $400, and the cheaper tripod probably does 100x the volume. So I'm just saying that model exists. Spend your time picking the right product. Find a good product, right? I mean, like, that's the answer, and it will sell itself, right? If your product solves a good enough problem, you will have a higher sales conversion rate. The data shows that. I mean, I've been seeing it in my business. I've seen it in the businesses that I've consulted with, and I've seen it from like my W-2 career working for larger companies. That's it. It is what it is. I mean, pick a good product. Go through these steps of iteration, spend your time figuring out the product and the problem you're solving, and you'll have a higher sales conversion rate, or if you're kind of starting this all from scratch, you're gonna have a high sales conversion rate, and that's really important. It means more business, more sales, less ad spend, all of those things. We're coming to the end of the year. This is December 2022. I hope 2023 is profitable for all of you guys. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Otherwise, good luck with your stores, good luck with your businesses. This video is not meant to discourage you anyway. Just spend your time researching. Your time is free if you're starting a business. Spend that free time wisely. I'll see you in the next video.